Hello everyone, welcome back to a new reading vlog. Thank you so much for being here. This past weekend I've been to the mountains with some friends and we had a really great time, and it was really cool to just decompress for a bit, relax and enjoy the fresh air. I do have some footage from the mountains, so I'm going to play that and I will see you back here with a reading update. So yesterday, after I got back home, I finished Evocation by S.T. Gibson. This is my first S.T. Gibson book, and oh my god, this book is so shiny. It's literally underexposing my skin. Okay, I think I will keep it like this. So Evocation by S.T. Gibson is my first book from this author, and I really enjoyed it. It explores these characters that are dealing with the occult. It has a secret society and very enjoyable and fun characters. I got so attached to these characters, specifically Moira and Reese. If you don't know what this book is about, we are basically following David Aristakov as he might potentially be possessed by a demon. Reese and Moira, Reese is his ex-boyfriend and Moira is Reese's current wife. So they are just trying to help David with his demon problem. These characters are so much fun. There are a lot of topics of polyamory and what it means to love and to be loved. I really enjoyed where this book went. This is the first book in a series. It's called the Summoner's Circle series, and I cannot wait to read the next book in this series because we are going to be in Reese's point of view. This doesn't really end on a cliffhanger, but it very clearly sets up the next installment. So I'm really excited for that. Speaking of this series and the continuation of this series, S.T. Gibson has a new book that either just came out or will come out very shortly in October. It's like a novella around 200 pages or so. Unfortunately, it's not available yet where I live. So when that one comes out, out, I will for sure be reading it because I had so much fun reading Evocation. I was kind of scared at the beginning because it did take me some time to read this just because I was reading 2 chapters and then I switched to other books and so on and so forth. But S.T. Gibson came through with this one, and I am so happy and pleased with myself that I finally read this. Also, the cover of this one, the actual hardback, is absolutely stunning. My camera doesn't do it justice for how just like gorgeous it is in real life. I do hope that they will keep the same design for the other books in the series when they will come out, because it is absolutely stunning, and it's kind of the first and only book that I kind of want to have naked on my shelf without the dust cover because it looks absolutely amazing. Here you can see the spine. This is Evocation by S.T. Gibson. It was really, really good, in my opinion. On my short trip, I started reading Boulder by Eva Baltasar. If you watched my previous videos, you know Eva Baltasar is my new favorite author. I read Permafrost by her and I really, really enjoyed it. And this book, Boulder, has apparently won the English Pen Award, and it was also shortlisted for the International Booker Prize in 2023. I was really happy to find this in stock at my local indie English bookstore and decided to start this one this past weekend. I'm not very far into it. I think I read only like 10 pages or so just because I really wanted to be in a specific mood while reading this one, and I was not there yet. So I will continue this one hopefully throughout this video to let you know what I think of it. And then in terms of the book that I'm currently like actively reading, I have started this book earlier this year. I think it was in either April or May, and I wasn't really in the mood to read it. And I just knew that it was something with me and not with the actual book because I enjoyed the writing style, I enjoyed the characters, the setting felt very like whimsical and chill and takes place by the sea in this world with like a really cool and unique magic system that I've never experienced or heard about before. So I just decided to pick that book back up, and that is Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. This is my first Brandon Sanderson book. I really like his writing style. I know that this is very different from other Brandon Sanderson books in terms of writing style and themes that it explores. It's considered to be a cozy fantasy. I am like 67 pages into this one, and I'm so happy that I picked this one back up because it's just so cool. We are following Tress, who is living on this secluded island. Basically, the world where Tress lives has a sea that's full of spores. The setting of this is really cool. It's kind of like a retelling or inspired by The Princess Bride, and I just cannot wait to see how this story concludes. Also, something that I wanted to show you, on the end paper we have a rat, and this rat just got introduced in the book. His name is Huck, and he's just like so quirky and lovable and cool, and I just want to find out what his story is. So all of that to say, I'm really excited to continuing reading Tress. Also, slight tangent, I don't know if you're able to see, but I have some fairy lights on my bookshelves. I just got them yesterday and I'm very excited about them. If I put something really close to the camera, the bokeh on it, it looks so cool with these lights in the background. So yeah, it was just something that I wanted to share with you. Let's get back to reading. Hello everyone, it is a new day, and yesterday I have received some book mail, so I wanted to do like a mini book haul to show you what I got. First of all, this is kind of dusty. I got White Nights by Fyodor Dostoevsky. This is like a really short book. It's like 80 something pages. I saw that this one is really popular nowadays and I wanted to read it because I don't think I ever read something from Dostoevsky, so pretty self-explanatory. Let's talk about the next book that I got. This is The 13th Child by Aaron E. Craig. Now, I'm sure you cannot see, but Back here somewhere, I do have two other books from this author that I have not read yet. And one of my toxic traits is that I recognize an author and I'm buying their books and then I'm never reading them. And then once they release something new, I'm more drawn to read the newer release than the books that I already own. We don't have to talk about that, it's fine. But I got this one because I've heard it's like a dark story. I don't really know that much about it, but based also on the cover, this seems to be pretty like dark and gothic and with eerie vibes. So I do hope that I will be able to get to this rather sooner than later, but we'll see. I was reading the synopsis for this one and it sounds really interesting. It has something to do with the god of death or something to that extent. And I was immediately, I'm gonna buy this and I'm gonna read this because I'm sure I will enjoy it, even though I never read anything from this author. I always say that I will not do this to myself again and that I will not buy series or trilogies or duologies like full on without having actually read the first book in that specific series. But I did it again. I don't think these are actually in order. Hold on. So I bought I think this is the Scholomance trilogy, if I'm not mistaken, by Naomi Novik. So A Deadly Education, and then The Last Graduate, and The Golden Enclaves, or Enclaves. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but anyway. This is a dark academia trilogy. Naomi Novik, I know, is really popular for her Uprooted book or series. I've been wanting to read something from her, and I think this is a very good start for me personally because I love dark academia, and I'm sure this trilogy will not disappoint. So I'm planning to read this sometime this year. Sometime this year. Speaking of Dark Academia, the next book that I have, this is a Dark Academia anthology collection. It's like a short story kind of thing. And I've been wanting to buy this one for a really long time, but it was kind of expensive. I wanted a hardcover of it, but couldn't really justify spending that much on an anthology collection, whatever it is. And then this one was on sale and I bought it for the price of the paperback. So I'm really excited about this because it also features stories from ML Rio and my favorite author that I discovered this year, Olivia Blake. So very excited to actually start reading from this one. I have not actually opened this to see. Okay, so it doesn't have anything on the actual hardcover. It's this like purpley kind of color. I really like the spine. It has again these golden accents. I feel like the majority of the books that I bought now have some sort of golden accent, which I love. Ooh, also the text for this, oh my god. The text for this is to my liking because it's so big. Love it, love it. This is one of the perks of reading books on an e-reader because you can make the font like as big as you wish, but with editions like this, you don't actually have to when you're reading the actual book, which is really cool. So this is In These Hallowed Halls. What do we have next? Ooh, The Lost Story by Meg Schaefer. I know The Wishing Game from this author is very popular. I have not read that book. I don't own it. And I was, again, very drawn to the latest release from this author. This has sort of like mixed reviews, and that makes me very intrigued to read this one and see what I will think of it. I don't really know that much about this book. I only know it's marketed towards people who love stories. So, as someone who enjoys stories very, very much, I'm very curious to see what's the direction of this actual book. I'm trying to see if I recognize some of the little blurbs that other authors are writing for this one, and no, I don't recognize any of these authors. I think this is one of those books that's kind of genre bending because it could be lit fic, but it also has like a magical realism aspect to it, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, this is The Last Story. I really love the writing on the spine, not so much. I don't really like the font, but the color of the actual naked hardcover is so pretty. You know, I'm obsessed with yellow, so That is always a plus. And then last but not least, the book that I actually started listening to yesterday on audiobook, and I made quite a dent in it. I think I'm 69% in. I'm on chapter 27. It is Anne of Green Gables by Lucy Montgomery. Every single time I hear the word Montgomery, I think of Pretty Little Liars and Aria. It is what it is at this point. But yeah, Anne of Green Gables, I have never actually read this book. I know it's more so intended for children, but I saw this stunning edition and I feel like it captures the vibe really, really well. You can see the colors are giving off fall vibes. It's very warm, very cozy. Again, it has these gold accents that are absolutely amazing, and also on the spine kind of the same thing again. It looks really, really pretty and it was very cheap. This is the last book that I wanted to haul in this video. Now let's get to the reading update. I have already started this book. I am 200 pages in, and my thoughts on this so far, I didn't really know that much about it going into this one and starting with the audiobook, but now it kind of makes sense why this is targeted towards children and why it's very popular among kids. Because this book, even if you're an adult, it is able to convey that joy from when you were a kid and you were just exploring the world and you were learning new things as the days go by, and you make mistakes and you learn from it. And now all I can think about is that Hannah Montana song with everyone makes mistakes, everyone has those days, everyone something something. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one so far. It's very cozy, very chill. The chapters are short and are full of wit and humor, and our main character, Anne Shirley, or how she prefers it, Anne with an E, she's kind of annoying, not gonna lie, just because she talks a lot, but also you feel for her. So the premise of this book is that Anne is an orphan, and you have these two siblings, Matthew and Marilla. They are brother and sister, and they want to adopt the 10 to 11 years old boy because they are transmitting this thing to the orphanage through word of mouth. Something is lost along the way, and the people from the orphanage send them a girl, our main character, Anne. The first time, Matthew is very drawn to Anne just because she has a lot of charisma and she's very talkative and she has a very unique way of viewing things because she's at that age where kids are actually like exploring and discovering new things. Marilla, as being like, grumpy and a bit stiff, takes a bit of time to warm up to Anne, and the two siblings are soon realizing that yeah, we should give this girl a chance because she has a lot to learn and we're warming up to her basically. Then the rest of the book is just Anne exploring things in this new town that she's residing in alongside Matthew and Marilla. It's very quirky, very charming. I laughed a lot because there are some things that kids are doing or saying that you don't really think about as an adult, but as a kid, they make so much sense. Anne has a very active and rich imagination, and she's trying to instill this feeling of even though something is not real, we can always imagine it, and because of that, our life actually gets better. She's forming a sort of writing club with her friends. It's very wholesome, very cute, and I hope that I will be able to listen to the rest of this book today, and I will give you an update when I'm finishing with this one. Also, something that I don't think I mentioned is that this actual edition of the book, you can see, is pretty thick. It's actually a bind up of Anne of Green Gables, the title, but also the sequel to Anne of Green Gables. So in this video, I will be only reading the first book, Anne of Green Gables, and then later on when I will feel like it, I will also proceed with reading the sequel. But yeah, that's why I'm saying I'm almost done with this book, and then my bookmark is right here because it's actually two books in one. And then in terms of the reading update for Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson, I have also managed to read quite a bit from this book. I am currently on page 140, chapter 26, What I can say about this book so far is that, first of all, I'm really happy with the setting. The magic system from this one is, I should actually put this down because it's kind of distracting. The setting for this is very interesting because we are following our characters as they are embarking on this journey that mostly takes place at sea, or where I am in the book right now, the action takes place at sea. Also, what's really unique about this book is that this one is not in Tress's point of view. This whole story is narrated by Hoyt, and Hoyt, from what I know from online discourse, is a character that's reappearing, or it's a recurring character in the Cosmere. I know he's some sort of a world, I don't know what people that are really into Cosmere call him, but I think he's a world hopper. He's basically able to travel between planets, worlds. I don't know. I don't know. But this whole book is in Hoyt's point of view. What's really interesting about this is that Hoyt will give us little pieces of information before Tress actually finds out that thing. So that is really interesting because you as a reader can kind of predict where the story is going, but our main character doesn't really know yet. So it's very enjoyable for me, at least as a reader, to have the story told in this way. Granted, there are times where Tress feels a bit distant from the reader, but you know, you have advantages and disadvantages when you're making a choice like this for the story to be told by a narrator than it being told from our main character's point of view. All of that to say, I really, really like it so far, and I am very happy that I finally picked this book up. I am obsessed with the little rat, Hawk. Hawk is such a slay. I love Hawk so much. As the story progresses, I hope we will get to see more of him. We kind of got a little bit of his backstory, but I hope we will learn more. This is the reading update for right now. I will probably see you tomorrow, and hopefully I will have finished at least one of these books. So, see you tomorrow, I guess. Okay, so I finished with chapter 27, and something very unexpected happened, is all I can say. I have to continue reading to actually understand what's going on. What? What do you mean? What do you mean? I just have to take a pause to say that there's a character who's kind of like a zombie or like a Frankenstein-esque thing. Not Frankenstein, Frankenstein's monster. Sorry for that. Uh, but he constantly is asking Tress if she wants to donate him her organs, and she's like, no, thank you. We finally got more details on Hawk. I'm so happy right now. I just love Hawk so much. There's a dragon in this one. I can't believe we have a dragon. I mean, of course we have a dragon, but still. everyone. Good morning. It is the next day. This morning, I have finished Anne of Green Gables by Lucy Montgomery. I didn't really expect to cry as much as I did with the ending. There is this thing that's hinted upon more so in the second half of the book, and I just chose not to believe that that's going to happen, and it did. And the last three or four chapters were heartbreaking, but also it leaves you with this sliver of hope that everything's going to work out for our main characters. I loved it so much. This is very wholesome and, as I said, heartbreaking with the ending, but it just makes you feel like a kid again, truly. As we are following Anne throughout her childhood and later on throughout her teenage years, she becomes very wise and starts to understand that being an adult or a grown up is not what you would picture it to be when you are a kid. And she says at a certain point, I'm paraphrasing, but she was saying something along the lines of, you know, when you're a kid and you really want a thing, and then later on you get it, and you realize that that's not necessarily going to make you happier, or that's not necessarily going to change your life in the way that you thought it would when you didn't have that thing. And I just thought that's such a good lesson to be learned from this book. This is Anne of Green Gables. I would highly recommend if you have not read it yet so far. Someone asked me on Threads, how did I not read this until now? And I'm not entirely sure how. Comment down below if you are from Romania and if you read this for school, because I didn't. I remember very vividly reading The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain and stuff like that when I was a kid. Also, Grimm's Brothers fairy tales, which are definitely not for kids. Moving along to my update for Trust of the Emerald Sea by Brendan Sanderson. Is this the front? Yes, this is the front. So I am currently on page 210 of Trust of the Emerald Sea. I read quite a lot of this yesterday night, and the story took a turn. Not only do we have a rat, we will also have a dragon. I'm pretty sure we will meet the dragon soon. This is so self-aware. It's not trying to take itself too seriously, and it shows. And it's a very good thing because this is so campy and understands what it is. This is a take on almost like a fairy tale or a story, but it plays very well into well-known tropes. I just like it a lot. I just like it a lot, and I'm very curious to see where this story will end because, as it is right now, Tress is in a lot of trouble. So I'm looking forward to read more of this today, and also tomorrow, hopefully, I will be able to finish this one. I don't know if I mentioned this, but today is Friday, and later today, I will go to my parents' house. Currently, I'm trying to decide what books to bring with me because I'll stay there for like a couple of days, and even though I'll bring my Kobo with me, I still want some physical books. So I'm trying to sort that out before I leave. I will see you in the train, or if not, tomorrow. I'm still reading Trust. I'm currently on page 237, and Hoyt just said, a part of me was hoping she'd notice how loud that silence was, and my brain immediately starts thinking of Taylor Swift, how she said in The Story of Us, I've never heard silence quite this loud. That's all. That's all I wanted to say. I'm gonna go back to reading now.
Sitting in the basement apartment I rented with you, remembering the holiday party.
Hello, everyone, and good morning. I am currently at my parents' house. Yesterday on the train and also this morning, I have continued reading Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brendan Sanderson, and I have finished it right now. I liked it a lot. I really, really did. I am so happy that I gave this book another chance. It was just amazing. It's funny, it's witty. The magic system is very interesting. In the world of Tres, I think it's called Lumos, all of the bodies of water, like seas and oceans and stuff like that, they don't actually have water, they have spores. And he thought of a very interesting way for ships and boats to be able to sail through these oceans of spores. The plot is very on the nose. The ending of it felt kind of like the last episode from Pretty Little Liars in the best way, truly in the best way. I feel like Brandon Sanderson is very good at dropping hints very early in the book about what's to come. What's very funny with this one is that the narrator actually will say like, hey, do you remember when I said this thing at the beginning of the book? Yeah, well, actually that was a foreshadowing for this thing that's happening now. And I'm like, okay, we get it. We get it. I enjoyed this one a lot. I definitely want to read more books by Brandon Sanderson. I think I will continue with Mistborn Era 1. Apparently, there's a shortage for The Final Empire, the first book in the Mistborn trilogy here in Romania, and I can't find that first book pretty much anywhere. I'm hoping that I will be able to find that one soon in stock and that I will be able to start reading it. That being said, I really enjoyed my time reading Tress of the Emerald Sea. If you want to pick it up and if you like stories that feel kind of sort of like fairy tales, but they're not actually fairy tales, if you like quick-witted humor and a very self-aware narrator, then I would highly recommend Tress of the Emerald Sea. Please let me know in the comments down below, what are you currently reading and what are your thoughts on it, if you enjoy it, or if not, why. Thank you so much for watching, and I will probably see you in the next one. Bye everyone!